Welcome to another episode of the George.Daniel Podcast. I am your host, George.Daniel. Before we introduce our lovely guest for the day, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Liquid Death. You can go find them at www.liquiddeath.com, or you can go to your local convenience store, Target, Walmart, all that jazz. And yeah, Matt, how was I saw you last night.
But busy week. Man.
Yeah. But what'd you think about the little kickback thing that we did?
Super dope, man. It's super inspiring to make you want to like go out and do more of those and just.
It was sick going to a different locations and like seeing how we can break everything down and then pull up somewhere.
Seeing everybody all excited too. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So hopefully you guys enjoy that video. That one meant a lot just because like my best friends were there. Some of my new industry homies were there. So like it was really cool. It was like a good little mixer to have. But with us today, we have a huge guest. We have DEM2, the boys, fucking Latin house. We here bumping grinds. We here. Let's fucking get it. Nah, like literally, you guys were and are one of the artists that I fuck with the most, mainly because you guys are brown. And I will be honest, I am biased. But yeah, it's like you guys were creating a wave that was bigger than the scene even intended it to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like we didn't realize how much we needed it, and you guys were one of the forefathers of like really bringing it out, Yeah. So like, before we go into like the whole like scene and what you guys are doing now, can you guys kind of walk me through a little bit of your guys' like background and childhood, like where'd you guys grow up and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. By the way, thanks for having us here. It's a pleasure, and I can kick it off again.
Much love, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my name's Saul. I'm Mexican. I was born and raised in Oakland, California. I'm from the Bay Area my whole life. Sergio, I met him when I was like 20 or so. 2021 maybe.
I think, yeah. Because I wasn't old enough to drink when I met you.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's
so
true.
I think I was 20, he was 21.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So
you guys are a year apart?
No, I'm like 2 years, I think.
Kind of almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years apart. So I didn't know Sergio my whole life. A lot of people think like I grew up with this guy.
I thought you guys were cousins. Like I thought you guys were like cousins, and it was like it was just like because it's just like every time I see you as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just also just like, oh, okay, maybe they were like neighbors or blah blah blah, and they just always link up. You know,
I get that a lot. For sure.
It's crazy. No, we didn't grow up like. He's from Hayward, and like he'll tell you his story. But I started producing when I was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I wasn't doing EDM at the time. I was doing like, believe it or not, I was doing hip hop. I was doing reggaeton.
Yeah.
I remember I have like 2 tracks in someone's USBs at this point, where me and my cousin are singing reggaeton tracks.
Oh shit! Like you are on vocals.
I swear to God, it was when I first got FL Studio, and I fucking bought the cheapest USB microphone that I could find.
Right.
And my cousin was like hella into reggaeton at the time. We were both like, "Fuck it, we got this microphone. Let's get on the mic."
That's hella fun.
And we somehow found this like bootleg auto tune and fucking just got on the mic and we created.
Damn, that's crazy.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then I just started like elevating my music production, and I just built a passion for it. And then years passed by, and eventually is when I met Sergio. In the EDM scene, so like I started going to raves. I don't know if whoever's watching, there was something called WOMP.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was a Bay Area thing,
right.
And it was something called WOMP. It was like a weekly Wednesday event
Wednesdays
at the Metro Opera House in Oakland, and man, I just fell in love with the fucking culture, and raving was my thing, but music production definitely took my passion,
right?
Interest. So. And then, I met Sergio, and that's how the duo came about. We just kind of linked up, we clicked, and, it made sense for us to be a duo because I will admit this, like, I never wanted to approach this as a solo career for me because I never had an interest to, like, be a DJ, so to say. So
I feel that
it's
1,000%.
crazy. Yeah, because
I feel that 1,000%.
and I'm pretty sure a lot of music producers feel that way because I didn't start off like learning how to fucking mix.
Yeah.
Like a lot of other artists do. And that's
Exactly.
cool. You know, like I know some artists that started DJing before producing.
Right.
But for me, it was mainly just making beats. But meeting Sergio, it kind of like we kind of clicked and we're like, you know, we can actually do something together.
Yeah.
And I was all in for it.
Damn, that's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So, Sergio, you grew up in Hayward. Shout out to East Bay. We've had hella people from the East Bay come to the podcast. So it's just, it's sick to see that like it's not the Bay Area is not just San Francisco. You know, like the people who are building what San Francisco is are the people who live outside of San Francisco is what I'm noticing.
Very true.
You know,
Very true,
I could once again, this is me. I'm a little jaded or whatever, but like I feel like if you live in San Francisco, everything's so accessible to you that now you get a little like complacent or a little lazy. Versus like if you have to travel 40 minutes to get to the place, you're like, dude, I'm gonna make it a night. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna do all this, blah, blah, X, Y, and Z. But kind of walk us through growing up in Hayward and your experience.
So I was actually born in Peru.
Okay,
I
dope.
wasn't born in the U.S. yet.
Right. So like in Lima?
I was born in this little town called Huaral.
Okay.
My parents were on the trip, and I just decided to fucking come out.
Damn. That's crazy.
And thankfully, in that little town, I had my uncle at the time. He was a doctor, and his name was Sergio. And then he helped my parents deliver me, obviously.
Damn,
I was
crazy.
premature. So my mom had to get a C-section for me too, you know,
Right.
obviously. But at the time, something was going on with that town that they couldn't get legal papers for me saying that I was born there.
Right.
So they registered me that I was born in Lima.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
legally in papers, I was born in Lima, right? But then, I grew up there for 10 years. And I came to the States when I was 11, roughly.
Okay.
And I was raised in Hayward when I came directly here.
Right.
Yeah.
So your family is Peruvian?
My family's Peruvian. My whole
Okay,
family's
dope.
Peruvian, yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. What the fuck? And your uncle delivered you? That's even crazy,
and
dude.
And under his name, like they named me Sergio too.
Yeah,
That was his name too.
But that's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's cool. Like, I mean, I know people who like their hospital is El Camino Hospital or whatever.
Right.
So like everyone's just like, oh, well, I know this doctor. This doctor delivered me, and just like, oh, like to know not just your doctor because I was born in Mexico also, but like I don't know anything. I came at 6 months, you know, so like I don't know shit about Mexico. Outside of like where I'm from and like my little pueblos, you know,
Right.
And yeah, like but with your experience, you grew up there for 10 years.
Yeah, so I'm thankful because I grew up there because I actually got to learn the proper when it's not Spanish over there, it's Castellano, right? But I mean, obviously in Central America and in Europe, you would consider it Spanish, but in South America, it's called Castellano for us.
Damn, I honestly didn't even know that.
Yeah. So if
That's
you go to
cool.
Argentina, Bolivia,
Right.
Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, it's all considered Castellano.
Right.
So it's like what the Spanish actually taught us first before that. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And then when I came here with no English whatsoever, strictly to Hayward, I was just lost.
Right.
And I had to repeat a year so I can properly learn English.
Yeah.
Because it's my second language.
Yeah.
So I mean that was pretty much it. And then I went to Hayward High.
Okay.
That's what I made most of my friends. So when I moved back to Hayward, because I lived with my parents, they bought like a mortgage in Stockton, so it was cheaper at the time during the recession.
Right.
So when I moved back to Hayward recently, like it's like seeing all my old friends again.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody's grown.
Damn, that's crazy.
Everybody got babies now.
Yeah,
Like,
your experience is a lot like my sister's. My sister came when she was 6 years old.
Right.
So like that, like I relate to your experience a lot. You know, she had a repeated grade and everything. And like just seeing that it's difficult.
Yeah,
as a child to be like, wait, what the fuck? Everything that I knew isn't what is right, I guess, or like not right. It's not wrong, but it's just like it's not what these people are doing, you know. And just like seeing that, so like that's tough. It's tough.
Oh yeah, it was. I think that year was definitely the most difficult time ever. I couldn't help myself like not doing what I wanted because of the language barrier.
Right.
You know, it was just difficult for me.
Yeah.
And learning all these subjects, you have to learn English, math. But math has a language, but history too, science. They were just crazy. It was too much for me at the time, but I was able to handle it. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like that's tough. And then for you to like kind of find like an outlet using music and just being like, well, like maybe like I don't need the voice. My music is my voice, you know? So that's really cool that you were able to find that.
So like concluding that on the music aspect of things, when I was living in Peru, all my cousins were listening to trance.
Oh shit!
Right, so in Peru was already big, jumping into the not call it EDM, but it was just a trance in general. They had me listening to Tiesto back in the day.
Okay,
so old school Armin van Buuren, Paul van Dyk. So I was really big into the trance scene.
Yeah.
Right, but I was still reggaeton in my heart all the time. It was popping back then.
Yeah.
When I came here, you know, deep house was already getting there in the States. Right, and so I started getting little, but in Peru, I was already DJing with my cousins.
Okay.
So I was super into it. Right. I was into the music. I just didn't know how to do it. I was just like, oh, this is cool.
Damn, that's so unique. Because I mean, with me, like me having like being an immigrant and having immigrant parents, like I like specifically remember like digging through my mom's CDs or maybe it was my uncle's CDs or whatever, but there was just this yellow disc that had like a bunch of like deep house and like trance songs and like Sandstorm and all these other like 90s songs where I'm just like, oh shit, like what the fuck is this?
Those are the best.
You know? And
that's
like
the shit, bro, that we would find in La Pulga.
Yeah. No, honestly. Literally. I guarantee you that's exactly where it came from. You know, like you buy a bootleg fucking CD and then next you know it comes out with trance, you know, and you're like, what is this? You know? But nah, dude, that's so sick. And
so as time goes by, I'm like 19, 20, just finished high school. It's a funny story. I was dating this girl, I'm not gonna say her name, but because of her, I met him. Right? Yeah. She's a cool though. She invited everyone because there was like a Calvin Harris event in San Jose actually. Okay. It was Calvin Harris, Afrojack, Tiesto, and then somebody else, I forgot. It was called Electric Bounce House.
Oh, okay, hell yeah. I
want to say it was 2014 or 2013.
Damn,
around
dude.
there. So we're all getting into the scene here. Obviously, we're all there. We're over 18. You know, we want to like party.
You're able to go, like you're able to drive to the places. You don't need a parent. You know.
So she had a friend that had another friend that knew him that was into that music as well.
Yeah.
And she invited everybody to the house to pregame and stuff. So we pull up, and then I met him. And we just clicked right away. So obviously, because of my ex, I met him.
Damn, that's sick. That's hella sick.
So I thank her for that. You know who you are. Shout out to my ex.
Yeah. No, yeah. Me and my best friend Christian, we kind of met the same way. Like, it's not an ex of mine, but like an old homie of mine. She introduced us because they were working together, and then he always used to fuck around in his man cave, like DJing. And I was just like, oh, let me fucking, let me see what the fuck this is. Like I can do this. But clearly. I still am learning. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's so much fun to look back on things and be like, oh shit, how like one person or one moment, one night,
absolutely,
it changes everything, that's insane. And also like shout out San Jose State for getting Electric Bounce House there. I've seen like I've been there. I was there where like Diplo and like Dylan Francis were there. I forget who else was there, but yeah, San Jose State throws, like when they want to, they can actually throw a solid EDM night, when they want to, but for the most part it's usually hip hop, which is still sick because I saw Future there, so that was really cool. Nice. But like kind of fast forwarding a little bit, so you guys link up, right? But like how long did it take for you guys to be like, oh shit, like hey, pull up, like come to the studio, like let's fuck around, like da 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 da.
I think so. At the time I was living on my own. I was working at Facebook, and Sergio, he was doing his own thing. And then we started becoming friends. I would invite him over, we would hang out, go out. And then I started opening up to him like, yo, like I produce music, like at the time, I think I was doing like Dirty Dutch shit.
He was doing some Dirty Dutch.
I was so Afrojack, so DJ Chucky, so fucking, all those artists. And he was
so this was what, like 2013, 2014 ish?
I think so, right?
Roughly,
yeah.
And you said Chucky, that's when he blew up on YouTube and he was doing his little like mix series and like, dude, that shit terrified me, but also I couldn't stop listening to it. You know, like all the effects and all the lights and all. You know,
DJ Blend.
Oh yeah, DJ Blend.
Yeah. Shout out to DJ
Dude,
Blend.
yeah. Dude, that era was so much fun. That was when like Skrillex was blowing up, like Dr. P, like all like that era. That era literally made me.
Yeah,
like that was the era that made me.
Exactly.
So you guys linked up roughly around 2013.
Yeah, I can say that. Around that time, we linked up. I started showing him like my work, and eventually, like we became, really good friends. And I admired his knowledge in music. Like his memory is what I don't have. Like I'm good at creating. This motherfucker is like a music library.
That's
and
sick.
he's probably tired of me saying that, but this guy can remember every title of every track and every artist.
Yeah.
And that's something that, like, I learned this today. That's actually that you need in this industry. Like, you're playing records that, if you're feeling a vibe, you go back to your library, you pull up the song that you know.
Right.
I can't do that, bro.
Yeah.
So he can do that. And he knows a lot about music. And then eventually, one day, I don't remember, maybe he might remember, but we talked about like, yo, like we should make this legit.
Yeah.
Like, let's pursue this career.
He has the more experience on the production skills, and I have more space on the DJ skills, and just everything around that area. And I think what happened was, I'm the one that told you. I was like, bro, let's collaborate. Let's do a duo about this. Like, I think we can go somewhere here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's you guys, right? You guys weren't DEM2 always, right?
The correct, yeah.
Right. So before like DEM2 was conceived, what was your guys' little duo name?
Mixed culture.
Mixed culture. That's what it was. I think Fully brought it up.
Yeah. Fucking mixed culture.
Dude, that's fucking sick though. Like it embodies everything, you're Mexican, you're Peruvian, you guys are clearly mixing, you know, but like also it's like blending genres.
That's really
blending.
why we come up with the name. Mixed
Exactly.
culture.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna lie, the reason why we changed the name was mainly because of me. Like I told him, I was like, I don't like it. Like it's not catchy. It defines us, but it's not catchy. And I was very interested in something catchy.
Right.
And eventually, like, we were on a long drive, and I told him, I was like, yo, I had this brilliant idea to change the name to DEM2. And then I fucking convinced him. He was like, yo, that's fucking sick.
Because I usually argue with him about that but I always like hit him back with like,
right.
Like
well,
that.
I mean, technically that's
I
your
don't know.
partner. You're
Yeah,
supposed to, like bounce
but
ideas
this
off
time
each
when
other.
he told me, I was like, because I was kind of getting tired of the name too.
Yeah.
And plus, there's another group in Peru that does reggae music.
Oh, okay.
But the same name.
And vintage culture.
Vintage
You know,
culture.
there was
too. So
like,
like,
some conflict.
there were so many cultures, and then when he told me that the first time, I didn't even fight him about it or anything. I
We
was
were
just
like,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Dude, that's fucking
You're
sick.
hella
Hell
genius,
yeah.
bro.
Dude, that's fucking sick. So, okay. So how long were you guys mixed culture? For like a year-ish?
Over a year?
Maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roughly, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's the time where we were, I think, experimenting with music in general.
Yeah.
Obviously, we were into the house scene, but I think we're just trying to find our sound overall.
Yeah.
I will say though, like when we had this idea to do like partner up, we started off rough. Like we didn't know what the heck we were doing.
Yeah.
No one ever does, you know?
Yeah. So we had like different names at the time too. We were just trying to like figure out our name, our style, and we started off very rough. Like I remember our first show sucked. Like it sucked big time.
Yeah.
And eventually, like we started learning shit, and at the same time, we started growing up. Like we started being more mature, and just everything kind of like collided the right way.
Yeah.
And we stuck with them too, and it's been great ever since.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there is a difference when you want to pursue something specifically in this scene. If you don't have discipline here, you're not going to go anywhere. And that's something that we talked about. We're like, look, I know we're making music for fun and everything, but like it's slowly getting more serious, right? And then we need to have this discipline and talk to ourselves and what our game plan is, and everything. So we took that very seriously, and then it's still working till this day how we approach things. It could be like new releases, anything.
I think discipline, and timing is super important in this. No shots, but there's a lot of people who get booked on bills that aren't doing anything outside of just getting booked. Where it's just like, dude, this was a platform for you to maybe drop an unrelease, you know, play it at the club, have people be like, oh shit, who the fuck is this, you know? And then, you know, like 2 weeks later, you can drop that song, and then people are like, oh fuck, okay, cool. And then now, instead of like you opening or you being the closer or whatever, now you're, you know, a little closer to that like 11-12 slot, you know? And you're a prime player now. But yeah, I've seen a couple people where they just, you know, they're just taking their chances. They just take their opportunities, but don't make any chances, if that makes sense. And yeah, like I like the fact that you guys like sat down and were able to like really like kind of like break it down as to who you guys want to like be, but also like how you want to be represented. And then so fast forward now, you guys are obviously fucking killing it. You guys have done everything with Space Yacht. You guys have been in magazines. You guys have been fucking, you know, just like everything. You've gone to Florida, I think.
Miami.
Yeah, Miami, right? And it's just like shit like that. We're like, that's super impressive, you know? Like, what I like about you guys is you guys, to me, are local, but you guys aren't local acts, you know, which is sick as fuck. That's so fucking sick, because there's certain people who drop hella shit, but they don't play out in even Sacramento. You know, they don't even go to like Fresno. And I don't know if it's a lack of trying or maybe them being scared or whatever it is. But I like the fact that you guys like fucking make it a point to like be out there, you know, like enjoy the fruits of your labor, you know.
Thank you.
But how was it for like your guys' like first off, like with Space Yacht, right? With Space Yacht, you guys did the Bay to LA, right? And then that was at Audio.
Yeah.
And then you guys went to Avalon.
Yeah. So let's take it back. So Space Yacht, you know, kicked off our career big time. Like we submitted a fucking track on their our
Tune
demo
Reactor.
submission, Tune Reactor.
Tune Reactor, yeah.
That kicked off our career because they wanted to sign that track. It's called Woodpecker, for those who don't know. Very Dirty Bird style. They loved it. They were like, yo, let's sign this. And that kicked off our careers because with their help, they started to book us on shows.
Right.
You know, we've played more in LA than the Bay Area.
That's crazy.
We can jump into that topic later, but
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
This is
right?
a whole different
like,
topic, right?
Like
Yeah.
the love we get in LA doesn't compare to the love we get here.
And I'm gonna dive into that topic just because for me, I think it's one, your sound, two, who you guys are. But LA, obviously, there's way more Latinos who are like listening to this stuff and everything. Like here, like you have a scene of Latinos and Hispanics or whatever, Latinx if you want to use that. But fucking like it's like having a whole like half of the population out there is Hispanic, you know? And then also there was a lack at the time, there was a lack of representation for us, you know? So like seeing two dudes up there being like vibing out, throwing down fucking actual tracks, you know, and their own music is super inspiring. And I think you guys can speak on this more, but like it's super inspiring. And like I can only imagine like how much fuel that must have given you to like want to just be like, oh fuck, dude, we're doing something. This is our time. We just got to take it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of walk me through as to like why do you think that you got that LA crowd on lock?
Yeah, so you know, shout out Space Yacht. They kickstarted our careers. It even motivated us to do more, right? And then after that, you want to expand?
So honestly, if it wasn't for Space Yacht discovering us on Tune Reactor, and this happened like right at the beginning of COVID, if I'm not mistaken. You know, we're at his house. We're making this track and it's called Woodpecker. Like this is some crazy shit on this track, you know. We started out in jungle sounds, started doing our own vocals. We were like, Woodpecker. Right? It's just random stabs that you want to add to your track to make it more interesting.
Right.
And then they started that show, and at the time, you know, it was very small. So it was an easier visibility for us to send. So we sent it out right after we exported that track, I think like 10 minutes ago. We sent it out to their show, and then they heard it and they were like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah.
And then the thing about Space Yacht that I fucking admire with everything, it's like they treat you like family, you know, like 100%. Like when when they say send music, they really mean to send fucking music. They want to hear it, you know. So shout out to Space Yacht, man.
Yeah. No, Space Yacht's fucking sick. I mean, also like for us and like the local talents around here, like that was Wes's first show.
Yeah.
You know,
Correct,
with Jazzy.
yeah. Correct. Yeah.
And like Foley is constantly on there. And things like that. So it's just like, dude, they're not just like, they're like trying to build scenes in every city that they go to, you know? But also like not making it about them, you know, but giving them giving the artist the platform to elevate however the fuck they want, you know, which is super sick and super like, it's hard at me as an event coordinator, like it seems a little difficult, you know, like how do I not make this about me? You know, is like a challenging thing where it's just like, well, we don't want to just slap our name on, you know, something, you know? But yeah, I fucking love Space Yacht. Their shows are fucking amazing. It's always a vibe.
Oh yeah, man.
And also just like, I mean, being in the content game, like their content game is fucking amazing, you know, like they just had, what's his face from Walker and Royce, Gavin on doing the Tune Reactor also. So it's just like, oh shit, like now like they have like someone who in my eyes anyways is like creme de la creme, you know, at what they do. Like giving out like, oh, maybe try this or maybe do this and like, you know, and like that's a huge platform. But now like, okay, so going from Space Yacht, them kind of discovering you guys a little bit, or not really discovering you because you sent out a track. So it's them putting your name out
on the map.
They put us on their platform for us to take the chance to succeed. Right. So after Woodpecker, they gave us our first show, which was at the Midway. Okay. At the time when they were doing the social distancing, but in tables. Oh yeah, right. And it was a big show, honestly. I think it was outside. Vanessa was headlining. Yeah, shit. And then they got 96 Vibe on there too as well, our brother. And then they got us to play as well. Yeah. And at the time, I remember they took our chance with us because they had no idea we also can DJ. So they were like, yeah, should we give them a chance? So we recognized that, and then we're not gonna let them down. Right. So they gave us our first show at the Midway. Yeah. Right. And then obviously we did good, and from there I think we signed another track. Right. And then we were pretty consistent with things. That's one thing me and Sol always talk about. We gotta stay consistent with everyone. Right. Every time you network and everything, you have to like really follow up. Like just in general with any artists, even a platform like Space Yacht in general, like any time you meet someone, you want to follow up with them. Exactly. So yeah. I mean, and the cool thing with you guys is, I mean, if you guys got discovered in the beginning of the pandemic, you guys now fast forward to where we are now have like, it feels like 20 plus songs actually released on labels. Yeah. It like feel like, I mean, I could be wrong, but like that's what it feels like. I think it's like 30 plus now. Yeah. Yeah. That's insane. Yeah. You know, that is the consistency, the discipline that, you know, because the pandemic was what, 2.5 years ago? Yeah. Roughly, yeah. So it was just like, oh shit, you have 30 songs now? Yeah. Like, I don't think like, not a lot of people can do that, you know, like.
It's something we talk about the time, like, you know, Space Yacht helped us put our name out there in their label and their parties. Get their exposure. Now people know who we are, but that helped us grow in a way because it opened up these doors of like, you know, how to handle labels, how to handle releases, how to handle, you know, feedback, how to handle exposure, how to handle show, just everything. Right. And it's just that allowed us to grow. You know, so now we're at a point that, you know, this is why we started Bump and Grind. Like it's a business that we got. You know, we sort of like learned along the way. And it shit's crazy, man. Like, you know, just put a good intent out there, you know, keep it original and shit comes to you. And it's just hard work paying off at this point. They honestly taught us a lot, man. Even the simplest thing in the email. Yeah. Like they'll hit us like, hey, reply all. Yeah. Yeah. Like those things, right? Yeah. Us as jump producers and DJs, you know, we're like, oh yeah, let's reply back to the email. But there's so much context in that email. Other people that have visibility, you have to hit reply all. So those are the things that they taught us too. So they took us as their kids, you know, they showed us every single way. And then I think after the Midway show too, I think the following week, this is the thing about LA. They throw parties on Tuesdays. Dude. Almost every day, actually. That's crazy. I mean, Thursdays, Fridays. Like it kind of like I get it, but
like I can't party on a fucking
No,
Tuesday. You know what I mean?
That's what we
Like,
said when we heard about it the first
here
time.
I go fucking drinking fucking.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
That's what we said when we heard it the first time. He was like, hey, we're going to put you in the show on Tuesday at Sound Nightclub. Which
Yeah.
was really dope. And then he also, it was Rami. And then he also reached out again the same week. Like, hey, we're actually throwing a boat party too.
Oh shit.
On Sunday.
Remember the boat party? Yep.
Yeah, and then we were in, so I was like, oh shit. So he was like, yeah, can you guys do Tuesday and Sunday? But Sunday's a secret lineup.
Yeah.
So we're like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we took a trip to LA. I think we drove that time.
Yeah.
We drove that time and then we did the show on Tuesday night. It was fucking packed, sold out.
Yeah.
And we were like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
Tuesday night literally felt like a Friday night in LA.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, I feel like it's all the people who can't like typically make it out on the weekends, and they're like, "Oh shit, well, I have tomorrow off. Like, fuck it, let's just go." You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
Like,
That's what it
and
is.
like, and for the most part, like those are my people. You know,
Yeah.
like I like yes, I'm out at the club on Friday and Saturday, but that's because I'm like forced to be there.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily because I want to be there.
Yeah.
And then like if I had like a Wednesday off or something, I would immediately go to that show.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else to do, you know? It's either
Yeah.
that or go to the movies. Like I'd rather get, you know, like
spend
I'd rather
time with the
dance my
family.
you know, like I'd rather just go and dance my little heart out, you know, and like vibe out.
So that little time, things were just picking up for us. You know, we started getting more comfortable with sending music. We liked our sound better.
Yeah.
Production skills were like getting better. Our DJ skills were getting better. So we're just trying to challenge ourselves every time.
Right.
And then obviously during that time, we met our manager.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my next question, actually. Yeah.
So
Posh.
we met our manager, Posh. Shout out to you, bro.
Shout out.
Posh has taken them2 and Posh and Brand, right? Posh, they're the one that handles. They taken them2 to just different level,
Right.
right? And then we didn't know we needed that guidance until we met them,
Yeah.
right? And then they have their label called Hot City, which released one of our tracks too,
Okay.
right?
Hell yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Hot City.
Shout out fucking Brent.
So so the Hot City is run by Posh, Brand, and Dylan.
Yeah.
And also Cisco helps them out as well. But they also took us under their wing, and then we told Posh like, hey, let's work together, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. And then here we are for the most part.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. Okay, so when you guys first originally got that space yacht opportunity, you guys didn't have a manager at this point.
We did.
Correct.
And then going into your first show with them, did you have a manager then or no?
No.
So it wasn't until after the boat?
After the boat, yeah.
That's
After
crazy.
the boat, and then we had another show, and that's when we started working
yeah.
together.
Oh, okay.
shows
So
later, yeah.
it was really like a month after we had another Tuesday show with Space
Right.
Yacht, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
No, that's fucking sick. Cause I mean, yeah, I talked to some people, some artists, and I'm just like, oh, like I would prefer you to have a manager, you know, just cause like for an artist or for someone who's a creative, you know, it's hard to just sit there and reply to emails or like think about like, oh fuck, okay, well, like I need to get the next show, or like I need to email this guy or this booker or this venue, you know. And like as an artist, you're sending out your work, but and then also you're speaking. So it's just you know, so like that shouldn't be that shouldn't be the case,
It
you know.
shouldn't, yeah.
You shouldn't be the case the chef and the waiter.
Exactly.
You know, like you need someone to fucking run the food after you made it, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, like I love that. I love the fact that you guys like one proved it to yourselves that you guys can do it. And were consistent for that like month and a half ish. While you guys didn't have a manager, and then all of a sudden like fucking got one, and now all of a sudden you guys are like, oh well, we did a little bit. I know what I want it to sound like or look like or X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And fucking did it, you know?
Yeah.
After the second Space Yacht show, we actually had a couple people from the industry that wanted to work with us on management, but we just didn't feel the love, right? And then we're pretty big on just keeping our
Connection.
culture and Latino and everything. And Posh, man, he's also Peruvian.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's that
Posh's
home court. Yeah,
Then
yeah.
when we met him, man, we just felt the love with him,
Right.
and the crew and the family, and then it's all real. I mean, you know, that's really why we went with him. That was really
Right. That's fucking sick. And yeah, I mean, honestly, like a lot of the times with me anyways, this is how I work. I work in comfortability. I don't work in need. Like I know that if me working with someone is probably a bigger need, but I'm not going to like sell myself short or like you know, like just do it just because this is a name, you know, like it doesn't sit well with me, and I'm not gonna sell myself out, you know. But like it's so much more fun working with someone that you, one, respect, two, can like just shoot the shit,
get
you know,
along with,
just get along with, and just like you, and just like have the same experiences somewhat, you know, like even with like in the scene, there's a lot more Mexicans, I feel like, than there are, you know, Peruvians,
of course.
you know, but at least now you have someone who like, one, kind of knows the like dialect, you know, because it's a different dialect, the lingo, soda's said differently, you know, it's not refresco, you know,
I learned so much.
You know what I mean? Like just things like that, where it's just like, you know, like that's super cool. And it's like, I think as an individual, we need that, you know, we need that sort of comfortability. That's fucking awesome. And then now that you guys like you guys did the space yacht shows, got the manager, you guys then started doing the label, and then the label is what now, like a maybe a year old.
It just turned a year,
like a year old. So that's fucking so sick. I remember seeing there's so many homies on the label already, you know what I mean, and you guys release what feels like bi-weekly.
Consistent.
It's
consistent.
It feel like, I mean, even just this week you release something, you know.
We're weekly now, actually.
Oh shit,
the traffic is fucking insane.
That's
bro.
crazy. That's crazy. And like, it's super sick to see, especially just because like, one, I'm a visual person, so just like seeing visually the whole black and white thing with like the little photo that like kind of explains the song a little bit, you know what I mean? Like it's fucking cool. Then like even before listening to the song, you're like, oh, I kind of know what I'm gonna get, you know? You know, and it's like it's sick. I like that. It like I think people need to like focus a little bit more on their artwork, you know, just because it's a part of it. It's your trailer. It's your trailer before they hit play, you know? But yeah, that's fucking so sick, and how consistent once again it is. It's super tight, and also just like all the artists that you guys are putting on, like people like Chongo, people even fucking what's his face, Eddie Romero has been on it.
Edgar
like,
Romero,
Edgar, and just like hella people, just hella fucking people. And yeah, it's so fucking sick that they're all like brown dudes, you know? Like it's fucking cool. It really is, because the sound itself is a Latin sound, you know, from its roots. But you can now, like fast forward a year later from when you guys started, you can kind of see like it branching out a little bit more. Dude, you know, which is so fucking sick. And I'm excited to see like where you guys are gonna take it next, because I mean from the lineup of artists that you guys have a fucking 2-day festival, you know?
Pretty much.
And it's a vibe. It would be a consistent vibe. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys have cooking next with that in the label. But could you guys give us a little something for like what's to come, or is it in the works where you guys are kind of like ironing the details out still?
So you know, I will say, like, you know, before we get into that, like Bump and Grind for the last year has grown so much, and it's insane. Like I tell them all the time, I'm like, you officially became a music businessman, running a team now. A team of 4, right? Shout out Gibby, our label manager, Joe,
our content manager too. She recently joined the team as well.
It's gone that big, dude. Like, you know, we have a whole team operating. We have so many demos that are coming in, and you know, I do a lot of hearing of the demos, approving, disapproving, sending feedback. And it's crazy how far it's gone. But we have big plans. And Sergio's essentially the mastermind behind all of this. You know, he kind of saw it before any of us. As soon as our brand DEM2 started growing, he had this idea of like, yo, like there's so much music and talented people out there that, you know, we have a chance here to kind of shine the light on them. So, you know, all these artists that are coming, sending these demos, like it's crazy because like they help us and we help them. And it's just like we wish we had an opportunity like that coming in early, which we've gotten opportunities with a bunch of labels.
Right.
You know, like there's, you know, Terms and Conditions is a good example. Like they really helped us. So, you know, starting something like that here in the Bay Area is something that, dude, we just had to do.
Yeah, because I don't think it was presence. No respect to the other Bay Area labels, but I don't think it was present enough to have, you know, young producers or anybody that wants to get into the scene to have their music heard overall. And then the main foundation of Bump and Grind is really like just everyone new that's coming into the scene, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone that we're starting their Spotify profiles for, like Apple Music profile, their Beatport pages, like they are the ones always funding this generation of, especially in the Bay Area, because unfortunately we're not big.
Yeah,
you know, and it's tech house in general.
It's insane. I was just having this conversation over the weekend where it's just like the Bay Area is such a fucking big market.
Yeah,
but there's only so many avenues that you can kind of like really reap the benefits from.
Yeah.
If you're talking like strictly financial, like it's hard to like really get your foot in these clubs and get these, you know, certain things and X, Y, and Z. And now there's a podcast, now there's different avenues that you can do things, but there isn't like a radio that you can go to, you know, like there isn't anything like that. I don't know if it's just because we have such a influx of artists and no one thinking about the other side. Or if it's just like cockiness where no one wants to help each other.
So here's the thing, something I'm going to share that totally pisses me off.
Yeah.
Right. That I've seen from other cities compared to being here. The Bay Area cares more about the equity and the income of shows and generals instead of helping the artists grow.
Right.
Or just... You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, 1,000%. Yeah,
it's so hard to get a show here.
Yeah,
and we're telling you from experience.
Yeah,
we don't play that much here in the Bay Area.
I know,
we don't.
I know.
Compared to Los Angeles, right?
That's why. Also, like, side note, like, dude, you guys coming onto this podcast means more to me than me paying you to come out to a show. Like, straight up, it really does. Because like I throw events and like even with Fully, like I'll pay him like his fee and da 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 da. But it's just like, you're my bud at the end of the day. I'm still, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I mean, no disrespect to the promoters or anything there. You know, it's just like we hear that, you know, DJs are literally getting paid $50.
Yeah.
You know, $100.
Yeah.
You know, and they're direct support to really big artists.
Yeah.
But do you see the intention there? You know, there's just not enough love to the artists here in the Bay Area, unfortunately. And we tell you from experience as well, compared to LA, obviously they care for your growth.
Right.
They're going to be consistent with you if you're consistent with them.
Right.
You know, that's the reality. That's something that pisses me off that I see every single day.
I truly see, I see that as well. Like exactly what you were saying with it being like the pay doesn't match the look. You know what I mean? People were like, well, do this for the look. Like you're at 1015, you're at Halcyon, you're at, you know, and there's no shot at them because I played at all of them. So shout out to you guys.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, it's still just like, oh, well, like we're opening up for, you know, X, Y, and Z. We're doing these things. We're like, I don't feel like I did anything after I, you know, like I maybe once I get the photos, you know, and then all of a sudden I see the crowd reaction and shit. Yeah. But even then I'm just like, oh, I got to post this on Instagram. Yeah. And I'm like, nothing comes from it, you know. Yeah. It's just another show. It was just another night. But yeah, that's definitely something that the Bay
there wasn't any platforms from what I seen when we were starting making music,
right?
Compared to what we have with Bump and Grind now. You know, I think it's such a different way we're taking this brand.
So okay, I'm dumb, right? So like help me, like if I wanted to like make a label, which is really hard, so not everyone can do it, but if you wanted to make a label, like how did you get to the point where you felt comfortable to like be like, oh shit, we could do this? Because it takes, one, you need to know artists, two, you need outreach, and then also you guys need to establish yourselves as someone who is able to do this, you know, where artists feel comfortable to be like, hey dude, like, you know, help me out, you know, or, you know, like, what do you think about this? So like walk me through the kind of like the process. Cause he was just telling me that you were thinking about this, you know, years prior. So walk me through that.
This always been a dream of mine. I told him since I met him. Yeah. Always been a dream of mine to have a music label.
Right.
So also for any artist, I know they can back me up on this. Any artist that has in the scene, their ultimate goal is always to have a label. You know, you're seeing a lot of artists now starting labels.
Yeah.
Right.
I give that to hip hop hip hop did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely,
Like you
yeah.
become the main guy from your label, then your label is like, all right, we'll give you a label then.
Yeah.
You know? So like that's a hip hop thing through and through.
100%. So I just fucking woke up one day and I fucking texted him. I was like, dude, let's make a fucking label today.
Yeah.
So
That's fucking crazy. You know, most people are like, hey, do you want to go on a hike? Do you want to go grab lunch? They're like, let's make a label. Like, that's so fucking
that was
funny.
me telling that, and he does the same too, because he'll wake up with just a random idea.
Yeah.
And so have I. It's something I learned from him too.
It just happened.
It just happens.
Like that's how I thought of them too. It's just I guess anxiety or some shit builds up on you that in the mornings you just have these great ideas and then we share it and then we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, dude, let's make a fucking label today. He was like, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, why not start early? You know, I know it's like the ultimate goal once you establish yourself, because I still feel like we need to establish ourselves way more.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have so much work to do still.
Definitely.
But I was like, dude, let's just start this, because I know so much people need help with, you know, just guidance in general. And same way Space Yacht helped us, you know, we want to provide to our community as well.
Yeah.
You know, so we just woke up one day, we were going through names and everything. And I think we talked from like 12 in the afternoon all the way to like 2 in the morning thinking of names.
Yeah.
yeah.
Even during work too. And I think he's the one that came with the name.
Right.
It was
Bumping
different, but we fine tuned it.
Yeah.
We fine-tuned it. and
No,
then-
but that's fucking sick. That's the like. I mean, me being Hispanic, I use this phrase a lot, where it's like it takes a village.
Yeah.
You know, you very literally had your uncle deliver you. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's fucking insane. But like with me, I had like all my tias, all my uncles. They were my moms and dads. You know. But like what labels or like what we try to do within our community is just like constantly just try to like help one another, you know, like,
absolutely.
I don't win unless you win.
Exactly.
And then also if I helped in a little way for you getting whatever it is, then like, dude, hell yeah. You know, it's like it warms me up, you know, just to see all my homies eat, you know, like that's fucking fun.
And this is like the business tactic to this. It's like, when I say we help them, they help us, is a lot of these artists are starting labels because new music's coming in, and artists love to drop unreleased, never heard of music.
Right.
So starting a label is just a business tactic to get new music to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way than to actually sign that music, make it a part of you, part of your project, your brand, and help the artist out. So it's like, we learned this along the way with Space Yacht, with other labels. You know, believe it or not, like we have our eyes and ears open to everything that we go into.
Right.
So our first label sign, you know, everything about the business, we're just keep taking notes.
Yeah.
You know? And not to kind of rip anyone off, but it's like we also want to grow in this career.
Right.
And
I think it's very evident with what you guys are doing with the label and also with you guys as artists, because you guys like you guys aren't just releasing through your guys' label. You guys are releasing with other people, doing features, blah blah blah. So like that helps the brand overall, you know. And then you guys have fucking like a massive track out right now with 96 and that one's fucking going crazy. You know, like I see everyone playing it, and even people in Europe, you know, and shit like that, and you're just like, what the fuck, like no one speaks the language out there.
They did a bootleg with Beyonce.
Just like, dude,
that was so dope, man.
That was so random,
like,
but shout out,
because we had Honey Digin playing that bootleg.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, no, that's fucking crazy, you know. So it's just like so walk me through kind of like, okay, like yes, it's an idea first, right? But then like how does like building a label is harder than so doing it, you know?
To get more context on it, the reason we created Bump and Grind was for us to release our own original tracks, because obviously with labels there is a process, takes a while for your song to come out, right? Yeah. So we were like, dude, let's just do it for us, right? So we don't have to wait on labels, and if we want to release a track that we really want to put out for our friends to hear, no, let's use the label to use it. Self-release it. And then we started doing that, and then another day I fucking woke up, I was like, dude, let's fucking release more tracks. So we hit up our friends. It all starts with hitting up your own friends.
Oh, for sure.
Everything starts with hitting up.
Sure.
So we hit up our friend from Spain. His name is Madness.
Shout out Madness.
So the boy Madness, man. Shout out to you, man.
Love that dude.
That guy, his production.
A lot of
skills
people
are,
don't know who he is, but
Yeah.
trust me,
No,
this
yeah.
guy's a fucking beast. in
go on
producing.
SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Madness.
Google Madness.
Yeah.
Like this guy is insane. Like one of our favorite fucking producers from Spain. He's younger than us.
Damn.
Yeah,
So we hit him up like, dude, you want to release on our label? Like we're barely starting. He was like, I'm down.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And then we hit up 96 too. We released another track with him.
Yeah.
And then we hit up our boy Suave. We hit up our Hita. So we're hitting up our homies first.
Right.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
gonna keep this under the family first, right? To see how it goes, see how it works
Yeah.
out. And then we also met our other friend Luke, right? To be honest.
Mhm.
He released the track Daka.
Yeah. Oh,
He was,
on our
he
label.
was our biggest
And
release.
that track to this day has like 500,000 streams at the moment.
Right.
It's definitely gonna hit 1 million this year for sure.
Yeah. That's
And
crazy.
Yeah, so we helped him out with putting that track out, and then I mean the rest of the story. He's doing like amazing things nowadays. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking, we were talking about all the like Latin house, people. I was talking to Jordan, and then he was like, "To be honest," and then my dumbass was just waiting for like the rest of the sentence, and then I was just like, but no, yeah, dude, like he has been doing work. Everyone on the label has been putting in work,
and that was
which
the
is
point
super
of-
sick.
That was the point of Bump and Grind. That's really why we made it to our family. Could just become a bigger family.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the way I see it, man. In the Bay Area, we just didn't have the support anywhere.
Yeah.
And then we turned this small Bay Area community into a global community. Now.
Well, I mean, like if you think about in the Bay Area, what's the label? Dirty Bird.
Yeah.
But
right.
it's literally moved to LA. Obviously that's the attention.
Yeah. And just like, I mean, yeah, it's insane. And like I got into like the tech house scene in the Bay Area like 2016 17 so it was just like it was all that Brazilian booty tech shit, but like prior to that I was listening to like night bass, and
Yeah, of
like
course.
that's the shit, I went to festivals. I didn't go to clubs. I wasn't old enough yet,
okay.
so I was like 19 listening to fucking AC
Mainstream
Slater,
shit,
and all that shit.
And where's all that coming from LA?
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Nothing really was coming from our.
exactly. And even Dirty Bird, no shots, but
No, yeah.
they stole all their artists from Brazil.
Yeah.
Like that 2000, like that 2016 era
Yeah.
was all the Brazilian guys, all the Bruno Fernandes, all those guys. Like then all of a sudden, that wasn't our sound, but it was our label. Just because it was made here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super tight to see like how grounded you guys are to this area, but how versed you are everywhere else. You guys are touching base all the way into Spain, and that's your first release. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
To have someone from a different country,
crazy.
from across the pond, fucking doing something alongside with you guys.
Yeah.
So that's super sick and super unique, and like once again, it takes a village, and I just love the fact that you guys are reaching out to maybe artists who don't have the same looks or don't get the same looks, but you guys are giving them those opportunities.
Yeah.
But so like with you guys started this label mainly to put out your own tracks, and kind of expedite everything. But like, so like when you make a label, right? Like a label isn't just like, oh, send me your songs and I'll put it out. It's like, oh, I need to get the licensing. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like how much of that was a shock to you while you were trying to do it, or did you already kind of have the basics, from like talking to people and X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, so obviously we already signed so many tracks with other labels,
Right.
So we get that experience from them, and then we also asked their ARs, their artists and relations, like, so you have to get a distributor,
Yeah.
right? There's so many distributors out there you can pick from, whatever fits you best. Obviously, could get an LLC for the brand,
Right.
and then find a way you can put a contract together where you can split the artist's revenue with the label as well. So labels do 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, depending what the label gives you. And then from there, it's just another process, get that contract out, they sign it, we sign it, and then from there you use your distributor to do the rest,
Right.
create the platform for the song, get
Artwork, the promo
the
listing,
artwork,
all that.
yeah, so it's a whole ladder for
Yeah.
every single
it's a
release.
system.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the thing about Bump and Grind as well. We just don't release original tracks.
Yeah.
The main foundation or the fan base of Bump and Grind worldwide now, it's the art that producers create, which are edits,
Yeah.
club edits,
Yeah.
VIP edits,
Right.
remixes that are not officially signed. And we put those out on SoundCloud for people to download for free.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what the fundamentals of bump and grind is,
Right.
to give the creativity its platform, because a lot of people are not comfortable making their own vocals yet or creating something original, so they grab an acapella obviously and make an edit of it,
Right.
and it's a fucking tune, like
Yeah.
it sounds really good, and then
Damn.
they don't have other labels don't do that. And
Yeah.
and
It's pretty rare.
yeah, it's pretty rare. Now that we've done that for a year, I'm starting to see other labels do that.
Yeah.
Like release free edits for people to download. And
Yeah.
then it just makes us happy. And we're not mad or anything. It makes us happy that we actually kind of started
Right.
the
No,
trend.
that's
Yeah.
so sick. I mean, I've said this countless times on this podcast. Fucking put it out. No matter what, just fucking put it out.
Absolutely.
I know fucking, like we want to get paid off of whatever we do, but like you putting out a song for free is going to give you 3 or 4 gigs
Yeah.
in real life.
100%.
You
yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
so it's just like if you can make those 3 or 4 gigs memorable for everyone in that crowd,
Yeah.
then dude, you're fucking locked in. You will forever have at least 25 to 50 people checking in on you and making sure that you're doing something. You're, or maybe if you're not even doing something, you're just eating cereal. People want to see that, like it could be. It's one of those things where it's just like you need to gain the notoriety, but also like build that foundation as to who you are. And it's not always like an official thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just having an official something doesn't mean anything if you didn't do anything for it,
Yeah.
or didn't like use it to benefit you. But yeah, like with me, like once I start producing, and I will start producing soon, but most of my stuff is going to be for free. Like I have like a bunch of songs that are sampled heavy, and yeah, it's just like I can't release this, but it's those are like my fun edits. Those are like more me than probably the originals will be.
Yeah, and just like you, there's thousands of other talented producers that are in that same situation. And Bump and Grind started because we were in that situation. We're like, no label is gonna pay for the samples and try to make it original. So what Bump and Grind does is we release them as free edits, preventing the copyright
Right.
fragments or whatever, and it works out. So we wanted to do that self-release, and then the label grew, and then we're doing it for other people.
Yeah. I mean, like the cool thing, my uncle was a quinceañera DJ. He does quinceañeras, he does weddings, he does bautismos, he does all that shit. So like he has edits of songs that like I don't even know where he got them
He
from.
did his
or
own
what.
mashups and shit.
Yeah, and just like shit like that. And like this was me like 13 years old watching him like mix and like helping him set up and like connecting the speakers and everything, and then next thing seeing like, oh shit, like you have this entire party like of like everyone from like 6 years old all the way to like 90 years old shaking their asses, and it's just like going from like genre to genre, going from banda de cumbia to reggaeton to like whatever it is, and then like sprinkling in some English songs for the kids, like that. Like that was my first taste. It's like my first taste was like the radio DJ, the quinceañera DJ, and then the club. So it was just like each one of those are completely different. But it's such a vibe once you get to like talk to those people and be like, oh, how'd you do that? Or like why? Or like why did you do that? It's like a big thing. But yeah, so like how like when you were already mixing at like what 11?
12 maybe.
12 like
Yeah.
you were dabbling at least,
my uncle had a vinyl mixer too, so I was trying to DJ with that. It was so hard for me at the time. So yeah, I already had the fundamentals of DJing, beat matching for the most part. It's not
right.
It was more difficult back then to mix.
Were you guys
compared to-
ever like trained in like playing with instruments at all growing up?
I never. I did take a few classes. I remember when I was like out of high school in San Francisco. I can't remember the name of that program, but I did go to some program to learn like Reasons
Okay.
and Pro Tools.
Mhm.
And for some reason, I stuck with FL, man.
Yeah.
But I learned a little bit about keyboard, but no, I never got taught like how to play a real instrument.
Right.
I self-learned how to play the acoustic guitar a little bit, but not so much into that. I was more into learning rhythm and understanding flow of that, but I'm not like a good fucking instrumentalist.
Yeah. I mean, I can I can play the recorder.
I'm like DJ Mustard, bro, with fucking 3 keys. That's it. You know that little keyboard.
That's all you need. Like whatever gets the job done, fucking do it. Who cares? But that's fucking sick. And then so you started practicing at a very young age. Were you ever like in the room when people were like producing or like DJing even at a young age?
At a young age, no, man. You know what's crazy? And he knows my story. Before I was 17 getting into FL Studio, I just grew a passion after I got a PlayStation Portable. You remember the PlayStation?
Yeah, PSP.
So
This
is where...
Shout out to God of War. Dude, you fucking got me through some dark times.
This is where, honestly, this shit started for me. Like, I got a PSP. I think I was like 15 or something. And I saw this commercial on, I don't know where, honestly, but I saw this commercial with, do you know who Zion I is?
Yeah.
The hip hop artist?
Yeah, of course.
Zion I, Mr. Fab. They did a fucking collaboration to make a PSP game.
Right.
It's called Traxpad.
Okay.
Google that shit. It's called TRAXX Pad. And they Zion I is like a producer also. So they made this beat making game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, Dad, you got to buy me this game. Like,
yeah,
this shit looks sick. Like, I can make beats. And, after nagging for a bunch of time, like, he's like, all right, I'll buy it for you. He bought it for me. I learned everything about Traxpad. I even learned, like, you could plug in, like, wired Apple headphones with the mic.
Oh,
and then somehow record yourself.
Yeah.
And I started geeking out with this shit.
Right.
And prior to this, I was a geek already with tech, so it was pretty easy to me learn stuff like that. So then I just started learning rhythm. I started learning how to make beats, and it was all hip hop, and that's where that started for me.
Right.
I was never exposed to like I don't have any relatives that are like into like instruments. I have some people like growing up in church that played, drums and stuff, but never like taught me how to do any of that. So shout out PSP Traxpad.
Yeah.
That's where that
Damn, that's
started.
crazy. Yeah. Cause I mean, like with me personally, like no one in my immediate family is like creative, quote unquote. But like I had my uncle, right? Who's my mom, like from my mom's side. And he was young enough to like kind of get this weird dream, but everyone else was a little older and they were like, well, I have my family. I need to fucking, I need to work. They're creative. The most creative that they were jumping over the border. But like, yeah, that was like that. Like I didn't have like artists in my household. I didn't have anything like that. It was only these parties, going to parties and seeing like everyone like getting along for the most part, until the end when people were drunk and they're like, you're staring at my girl, and then next thing I was but that old like that to me was my first like time where someone, or I can see how creative we are as individuals. It's just like, even from like how you came to the quinceañera, what you're wearing, how you're dressed, like all this stuff. And like, I was like, oh shit, like we're fucking individually, we're so cool. Like, like, and it's, it's such a unique experience. But you guys growing up in the East Bay is a little more diverse than it is out here, and like, or at least where I was in Mountain View. Mountain View is pretty white for the most part, but like you have your pockets of Hispanics, and and then you have your like 10 black kids who were in high school with you.
Not so diverse.
That was the diversity, but no, like, how did you guys growing up, did you guys mainly hang out with like the Hispanic kids? Were you guys skaters? Were you guys into like soccer or whatever?
You want to start, Sergio?
So at the time for me, I didn't know much English. So for me to get along with people, the only thing I found was sports. Okay. So I knew how to play soccer. I was playing in Peru. So I started playing in the soccer team with him. That's really got me into, starting my first friendship ever. Right. So yeah, and same thing for high school too. I can apply the same thing. If it wasn't for me playing soccer, I don't think I would ever make friends because I was just so shy back then. Yeah. I feel it. I mean, if you can't like fully like
express yourself, you know, with the language, then it's gonna be hard to like build friendships or like, you know, like even with me, like I was working at a paint company and I was like one of the painters, which is, if you know me, like the literal worst job that I can have. But like it was just like a bunch of like deals and like dads, you know, and they're all like, oh, like speaking in Spanish and everything, and it was like I would try to like rip on them back, but like I would think about the sentence in English and then say it that way, and it just wouldn't make sense, you know. So it was just like one of those like awkward things where it's just like, no, and they're like, what? And I'm like, I don't, fuck you, dude. Like, you know, just like whatever, dude. But yeah, like that the language part, I can definitely see how it's definitely hard. Even with like my sister now. My sister and my mom definitely got along way better than me and my mom, just because I like. For the most part, like I said, think in English. Like I can speak Spanish fluently and like well enough to like hold a conversation with anyone. But like just like the little things where I'm like, oh well, this is my mom, I can just say it in English, you know. And yeah, like I can see how the relationships that you build are going to be through the physical aspect, you know, with the team sports of being in soccer, being like, I would assume that you would, like in your head, you're like, I need to be better than the guy next to me, right? Because like I need him to pass me the ball without me saying pass me the ball, you know? So like that's tight. That's a just super sick experience and like upbringing, you know? Absolutely. And yeah. But with you,
I think, so for me, it's I got a crazy like childhood. So I grew up in Oakland. I never went, I'll get to it, but I went to charter schools.
Okay.
After my elementary school, I went to Jefferson Elementary School. For those of you who know, shout out. After that, I started going to charter schools. So I went to a middle school charter. It's called OCA, Oakland Charter Academy. Small school. So I've always been in small schools. I've always just been like a geek in tech, and I used to like hack PlayStation 1s or PlayStation 2s. I used to just be into all that. I never was into music until, 15 or so. Yeah. But I did grow up with just a bunch of Latinos. You know, Oakland has a lot of Latinos, a lot of Black people, not so much white people. Yeah. You know, so
I feel like the time where you were growing up, Oakland had such a culture. It
was rough. It was rough. It was fucking ghetto as fuck.
For sure. Scary. For sure. Scary. I mean, we've all seen Fruitville, you know? Yeah. But at the same time, like, I don't know, like I had family who lived out in East Palo Alto during like the rougher period, crazy, you know? And even then, like I guess I was a child, but like I knew the dangers, but I also realized like these are just people, you know? And they're like, this is just the environment, because the city over, if you just hop over the bridge and you're in Palo Alto now, all of a sudden they're like, oh, these are multi-million-dollar homes, you know?
Fucking beautiful and shit.
And all it is a mindset. Yeah. That's all it is a fucking mindset. And yeah, like it was for me, like I'm super whitewashed, obviously, but at the same time, like I hung out with norteños constantly, and like I was able to hang out with like the skater kids, the nerds, and everything, and I just wanted to be the best chameleon that I could be. So then no matter,
bro. I was exactly the same.
Yeah,
I adapted.
Right.
I never like settled with a group of people that was into something. Same way. I was skateboarding at some point. I was learning. I was hanging out with the cholos. Yeah. You know, I was hanging out with the nerds. I like you. I was just everywhere. Right. And that helps you kind of become the person that you are today.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Because there's a lot of friends that I knew at the time in high school that some died. Some got shot up. Some ended up in jail. Some, you know. It's just how you grow up, how your parents raised you. But luckily, you know, us being here today, we learned a lot, right? Being exposed to all that, you know, Sergio tells me all the time, like all the gangs in school, like Hayward had a bunch of gangs too. Right. Like it kind of like helped us be who we are today.
For sure. You know? Well, I mean, like to me, like there's an expression where it's like you'll learn better, or you'll learn faster on like how to swim
Yeah.
in a pool full of sharks, you know, then, you know, so it's just like, you just got to learn how to navigate and got to maneuver and everything.
Yeah.
And like, that was pretty much like how I kind of take everything, you know, where like at first, like I'm socially awkward at the club still, mostly because like, I don't know 90% of the people there.
Yeah.
So I don't know who the fuck doesn't have the best intentions for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm going to chill in my corner with the 10% of people that I do know and I fuck with, and then just watch you guys. And then when it's my turn to like fucking do whatever I need to do, I know how to maneuver. I know where to go. I know who to talk to. I know like which hand to shake and which one I need to like kind of stay away from, you know? And yeah, it's definitely that hood mentality, you know?
Dude.
It's that,
Seriously.
you know, that like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's that street smarts and book smarts coming together.
I learned this in the program that I went to that got me my job. It's called code switching.
Oh, okay.
Code switching is, you know, you come from the hood. I come from the hood. I know the language. I know, you know, all the violence. I know all that. And, you know, going into this program, I also learned what, you know, business etiquette is. I learned what how to properly speak, you know, language in a corporate world.
Right.
And
even just writing an email, like how to write an email is like, it's something that you don't know until someone teaches you. Correct, or you see it, you know?
And it's crazy because these skills help you go a long way. And, you know, it amazes me because there's so much talent out there. And there's a gap, right? Like, you know, if this talent knew how to reach to the right people, send the right emails, show their talent in the right way, like, you know, they can be successful. And, you know, we've been so fortunate and lucky to be exposed to all that it's code switching. You know, when we're talking to business people, we switch to professionality. When we're talking to our homies, we switch back to, you know, however we grew up.
Yeah, exactly.
But that takes you a long way.
Right.
If you stick in one.
And with that specific thing said, like that's kind of how you guys run your label, right? You guys have your official drops where it's proper, like this is through us, and then you guys have your free releases on SoundCloud where it's just like, well, we're just shooting the shit. This is just us kind of fucking around, just having a good time and like making sure that we are satisfying, you know, this sector of fans, you know. But like that's fucking that's fucking sick. A lot of people don't have that experience, and you guys, both of your guys' experiences are similar but also drastically different, you know. Which is what I've learned now, like, is somewhat why I kind of like you guys even more, you know. like the fact that like being an immigrant and coming through over here and then like learning a culture entirely is so fucking mind-boggling to me. But also with you being a charter school, like genuinely, dude, like how many people go through charter school?
My school's 100 max,
you know, like
I had both middle school and high school, right?
Like I had to get kicked out to get into like I got kicked out of the big high school to go to a smaller school, you know. But being at a smaller school where there's only 20 students in each classroom, and then there's a teacher and a teacher aide, you're like, oh, I can ask questions at any given time, you know, and be like, hey, I don't really get this, or like, hey, like how do I blah blah blah, or like how would you do it, and like, you know, like it's just like the shyness of being in a 40 student classroom is like, I'm not the dumbest person in the room, and even if I am, like I can still just kind of tap the teacher and be like, hey, like, you know, like how'd you do this? But yeah, dude, like that charter school experience is super unique also.
It kind of molds you to be a specific person. Like I did go to a public school for a year, and that's my it was a freshman, sophomore, and junior. My junior year, I went to the high school in Union City. What's keep forgetting the name. It's like the main high school in Union City.
I forgot that.
It's I know it's one of your rivals, right? Hayward, Union City. Anyways, I went to a high school in Union City, bro, because we moved to Union City for like a year. We were renting a house, bro. I was exposed to something I've never been exposed to. Right. It was a school with like 4,000 to 6,000 students.
Damn, that's crazy.
Like I'm talking about like movie type of shit. Like students had lockers. fucking, you got the nerds, you got the fucking emo kids. And, you know, he grew up like that.
Yeah,
and I was never in that environment. So
Right.
I did that for a year, and it turned out that I hated it, bro. There was
Yeah.
a lot of fakeness in there.
For sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
I went to a school where I knew everyone.
Yeah.
And they knew who I was.
Yeah.
And it's just, that helped me grow up to be who I am too. Because
Right.
it's just crazy how the public schools were to me. But
That's insane. But like, oh fuck, like that. You going to like public school and then charter school kind of reminded me, like, you hear stories of like these like famous people like Kanye or Kobe going, like Kanye lived in Japan for like 2 or 3 years as like a 6-year-old or something. Kobe lived in Spain for a majority of his adolescence, you know,
Italy too.
in Italy, you know, so like, you know, like him coming back and then like him, like with Kobe especially, like him being able to see how soccer influenced him and how he plays basketball,
right, yeah.
you know, and then with Kanye, him being in a different culture and being like, oh shit, like this, I know how to dress. And like I know like, oh, you don't know this brand, you don't know this thing, I'm gonna bring it to the States and like fucking make it my own. Like that is all something that, like, you know, we don't think about as it's happening.
Yeah.
But then later down like the line, like you're like, oh shit, like that's the thing that, you know,
helps you be who you are.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
and then like, okay, so like speaking of like who you are and everything, like with DEM2, where do you guys see yourselves in like 5 years?
It's a good question.
Or where do you guys want to be, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously we want to grow as much as we can and help, you know, who we have to help as much as we can as well, you know, whenever. But obviously as an ultimate goal as an artist too, you know, we want to win a Grammy too.
Yeah.
One day.
Oh, dude, that'd be
we want to
fucking
win a Grammy
sick.
one day.
Honestly, we've said it.
Yeah.
It's manifesting. It's a law of attraction. We say it because right now we're tackling a different approach where we're coming up with our own vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an attempt to help us get real artists, leverage us, you know, like big artists. Like I'm talking about like the Raul Alejandros, the Bad Bunnies, because we remix their songs, right?
Yeah, trust me,
And,
we
you
know.
Yeah, we see the work that Gordo's doing, right?
Right.
Like doing originals with Fade, and we love that.
Mhm.
So we want to continue that forward, because I know eventually Gordo will move on, and then us being young, we'll kind of have to carry that on along with our homies, Suave and Hita and all of them, because dude, this is the vibe, and we're all in for it.
Yeah.
We love this vibe.
Yeah,
so.
no, yeah, that's why, like, I mentioned this last time where it was just like English is 10% of the world's population. Then like Spanish is 23, I believe, of the world's population of like what they speak and what they listen to and like on a day to day. So it was just like, I understand why white people fucking want to do Latin house. I get it. And like I'll forever stand on this fucking hill. I'll die on this hill. But like, dude, I love it when we like use our experiences, our colors, our language, our sounds, and like make something that's us, you know, like through and through us. And I just think it's a little lazy when other people use it. Like if you use a Bad Bunny track, like cool, but you're just doing it because it's Bad Bunny. He's the #1 fucking artist in the world.
Correct.
Like, you know, like that's just a cheat code a little bit. But when it's us and we're the ones going to the clubs, we're the ones at these quinceañeras, we're the ones hanging out these kickbacks. Like these are our songs that we're listening to when we're driving, you know?
Exactly,
Like
exactly.
this is what gets us through the day.
Yeah.
And like that's my point where I'm like, oh, like it's a cheat code when other people use it because they don't get it. They don't through and through understand what it means to us.
They don't know the background of where everything came from.
Right.
Just the reality.
Yeah.
Like you bring up a good point, and we can put this on the table right now.
Yeah.
Like we know what Bad Bunny, whoever is saying, we know the lyrics. We know Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico. We know his intent. We know his music. This is why we edit his music.
Yeah.
Is because it's a vibe, and adding that tech house or house vibe, it takes it to a whole nother level.
Right.
Now for someone coming in and knowing that it's Bad Bunny because he's mainstream, looking for an acapella, that's not the good approach, because
Right.
you're just grabbing that throwing it on a tech house.
It's just lazy. It's a little lazy and
different intents.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
and I don't know. And once again, I'm jaded. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. But this is also coming from an immigrant kid with immigrant parents who fucking seen it, and just like lived through it. So I'm like, dude, like you weren't there. You weren't listening to La Calle. You weren't listening. You know what I mean? Like you weren't there. Like, dude, like all that shit is just like, dude, you don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
It just shows. We can see. Obviously, we're not gonna say it, but we can see who has the right intentions in the industry or not,
right.
When they release their music and what they use. Like, we all see it. We don't have to say it, but
yeah,
it's pretty clear who's in the right path.
Right. But like to kind of like bring in a lighter note, what you guys do with everything, like, is there at any given point, like in your guys' like vision board, like, are you guys trying to do like a all Hispanic thing eventually, like whether that be a show or whether that be like an album where all of a sudden you guys do all of your guys' all the people who have releases, like put them all on an album and then just like present it to the world, and like these are our guys.
We did with Cherry Picks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was our first project.
Yeah.
It's crazy how you think about that, because we thought about that and it was like, what better way than to promote this style of music in an album?
Yeah.
Fucking woke up. I was like, we're releasing a compilation, bro.
Dude, that's fucking
it's all our homies.
Yeah.
But you mentioned throwing a show, and this is us sort of like throwing a little teaser out there, but we've thought about throwing shows.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of big labels do throw their own shows, and tapping into that industry, it's a lot of competition. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
But us having that reputation of like Latin tech house, Latin house, it could bring a different angle to the table. And we've talked about it for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, like, not for nothing, like, dude, like, as a fan, like, I would love to go to a show where no matter if I'm like talking to someone or looking up on stage, like I'm looking at people who look like me, like that would be so much fun. I mean, clearly, like, yeah, anyone can buy a ticket to it, and like we would want everyone to be there as much as possible. But like for it to be like a show for us, by us, like is different,
So to add into that as well, we had our first headline show last year on audio, our DEM2 and Friends, and Space Yacht, our family gave us that show for us.
Right.
Shout out Space Yacht.
Yeah, shout out Space Yacht.
I know who Suave played on that one.
No. So the lineup was us, Red Tape,
that's what it was.
96 by Fully, and our friend British.
Right. And then you guys had one here in San Jose also.
Yeah, we had a couple of shows, not a headlining show, right?
Did we? Damn, dude, I'm already forgetting.
If we did, my bad.
Yeah. I don't. It might have not been you. I think it was Red Tape, honestly, who had the San Jose show.
Red Tape headline at, I think, Aura. And then we were direct support.
Yeah,
right.
Holy shit, dude.
Shout out, boy, Red Tape.
Yeah. Dude, like I said, I'm a fan. I keep receipts, like they may not be 100% right, but like.
So we threw a show co-headlining with Red Tape at Aura nightclub with Real Ignorant Boys.
Yeah, Real Ignorant.
Our boy
Shout out Real
Gustavo.
Ignorant.
Shout out to boy Gustavo, man.
Yeah, they're doing a great job also.
And I think that was the first time I think San Jose had like an all Latin lineup.
I mean, I
sold out too.
I wasn't able to go, but literally, like I was looking at it and it was like all the like Latin DJs and producers from the scene went there, and then from seeing that and then seeing like. I was like, oh wait, what the fuck? Like some of my friends I went to high school with are there. Like why? Like what the fuck? Like how'd you get there? Like how did you hear about it or whatever? But it's just like it's that community thing, where it's just like we travel in packs.
Exactly.
Like,
and then when we threw the DEM2 and Friends shows audio, right? We sold it the fuck out.
Right.
Like,
dude, yeah, going back to that show, that was our huge milestone.
Yeah. So would you say that was like the show that you were like, oh fuck, we're doing something?
Absolutely, 100%.
I seen people that I haven't seen in fucking years in that show.
Damn, that's crazy.
Not only all our homies went there to support, we fucking sold out. I heard there was a line outside the door, like
trying to get in.
The block.
Yeah,
and it was just everything just worked out so well. Again, shout out Space Yacht for helping us put that show together. But being our first headlining show in the Bay Area was a big deal because it goes back to Bay Area supporting new talent.
Right.
For us to achieve that with the help of Space Yacht was just massive. massive.
And again, man, we threw that show because of Spazia, a group from LA,
Right.
Yeah.
not even here. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That was just like astonishing to me till this day.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. I mean, I can't even imagine headlining a show, let alone like being it like at your home base, you know? Like the Bay Area is obviously super huge. But like just having it here where you can be like, you can hit up your friends from high school and be like, hey, pull up, like I'm at this club that I know you know what club it is, you know?
Yeah.
Like I know you've been there.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know,
It's
like
a well-known club.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just like that's a stat, you know. Like they're in SF, there's 5 major clubs, you know.
Exactly.
So it's like if you're headlining any one of those,
Yeah.
like you're headlining a major club of the world.
It's a
you know?
historical club. Like,
Yeah.
it has its own imprint. Like it's a big deal,
Yeah,
And like you mentioned before, dude, the amount of Latinos that were in that show, man.
dude.
it's crazy.
It was
I
so
can't wait.
hot, bro.
I can't wait until you guys get into like a outdoor venue where people were bringing their flags, you know. Everyone from like Peru,
Shout out Peru,
like,
Puerto Rico, Mexico,
you know,
Colombia.
like that shit's gonna be a vibe, you know.
Oh,
like
bro.
even like someone like Black V-Neck, right? They are one of them played EDC this year. And just like watching the videos and then seeing the flags and everything,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh shit,
Shout out Black
dude.
V-Neck.
Yeah, dude. And they're coming out to, I mean, this would have already happened, but they are going to be playing with Walker and Royce and
Yeah,
Ampersand at
saw that.
Midway.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'm for sure going to that.
We saw them at the Academy lately. We were back there
Yeah, it was pretty
backstage.
Yeah.
They put on a good show, man. Shout
Yeah.
out to them pushing the movement as well.
Yeah, they're super, like, I've never met them, but their music is fucking amazing. Their edits and everything are super tight. But yeah, they're from Miami or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
something like that. So it was like that's fucking sick. I like that we're all, there's not a lot of us, you know?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
there's not a lot of us. So
A lot
like
of
just
us.
like being able to kind of cherry pick you know,
Yeah.
those artists to like, you know, be like, hey, if we link up, we're gonna build countries, not just communities, countries up, you know?
Yeah.
So like that's fucking impressive and so sick, and like, yeah, I'm excited for the future for sure.
I will say, because you mentioned in 5 years, right? I will say, touching on the subject of DEM2 and friends, we, you know, for those of you who attended the first show, we got something in the works.
Yeah.
And if you're with it, put a peace sign on the comments.
Hell yeah.
'Cause
Question.
it's coming
You can answer this or you could not. Is it gonna be a SoCal or NorCal show?
Oof. Sergio, can we give some info there?
Us,
It's gonna be in Cali.
As we know, you know, we're always trying to push in the Bay Area as much as we can.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's possible, you know, we'll try to make it here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always my thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would be super fun. And yeah, if you guys need help with anything, let me know.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
can't do anything outside of like the podcast, but yeah, no, that would be so much fun to see you guys.
Because we
Fucking,
just played a Soda show at the Academy.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, sorry, at the Exchange.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
yeah, yeah,
huge.
yeah.
We just played
That
at
was
the
huge.
10-year anniversary for Space Yacht.
Yeah.
That was so dope too.
It was amazing.
And our whole set was literally like just our music and bumping Ryan.
Yeah.
So are you, I mean, at this point, you guys can now play a full set of your guys' edits.
Yeah.
More than one set.
Yeah.
dude.
You know what I
It's
mean?
sure, yeah.
Insane.
But that's fucking. I talked to Foley about this, and I'm like, dude, like you have fucking 4-6 hours worth of music that you can like fucking
And
play.
Fully has
Yeah.
a shitload of music, dude,
Dude,
for sure. I know.
The one release he had 15 tracks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
like chill, like bro. And like, I mean, the fun thing about that album with Trippy Ass Technologies, it's through and through him. You know, it's like every genre that made him him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, yeah, he even had like some like weird spacey bass music.
Fucking love it, man.
You know, and
love
like
it.
I'm like,
Fully, man.
Yeah.
dude, like
Fully's
he
fully,
honestly, like it's hard to get things out of him.
Yeah.
You know, but like once you kind of like piece together, like, oh, okay, well, you did this, you did that, and I'm like, okay, I kind of see it without you having to tell me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But he's like, I've been at after hours, fucked up, being like, dude, you're such an artist. Like, oh, dude, like I don't know why you're still just like, you know, like doing this, you know. But yeah, like it's fun. I love hyping up my friends, you know. That's why I started this podcast, you know, just to hype up the people who I love. You know?
Love that energy. We do that all the time. We see the homies, we say what's up. Good luck out there, you know. Oh shit, bro! You put too many fucking shots in there.
I can smell it from here.
Anyways, we fucking pump our homies up. Yo, good sit out there. You know how baseball players slap each other in the ass?
Yeah.
Same vibe we get.
Hell yeah,
all day.
Same vibe.
Yeah, no, it's fun because I feel like the first time I've seen you guys in person was at Halcyon with 96, and I don't think any of us were even playing. Like literally, no one was playing.
But 96, I think, was playing. Right?
So yeah,
not that night. I don't think.
No, 96 had a different show
At a different venue.
that's
At a
right.
different venue.
Right,
Yeah.
Support him because he was staying at my house
That's
that night.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think you guys literally left the club to go on the airport or something like that.
Dude, yes.
To go to LA for that show at Exchange.
Like Exchange, yeah.
Fire,
Because 96
He came with us too.
Yeah, he went with you guys.
Because it was my birthday as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he was
yeah.
rolling with us the whole weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that is just like, it's like, you know, the community, you know, the team, the squad rolling up, you know, and like even if like I said, I saw you guys at Halcyon, but none of us were playing, but all of us showed up, you know. If one of us is there, then like another person's gonna obviously roll through, and then next thing you know, it's the whole gang. But yeah, that's like that's it's super exciting to see how the difference of how we as like Hispanics kind of treat this versus others, where it's just like, I'm only gonna support you if it benefits me, but with us it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna go because it's a vibe, you know. Like I'm like, I don't know, you know, like it's just like, oh, okay, well, if it, you know, and yeah, that's exciting. It's exciting to see, and like I'm honestly so excited for the summer, you know, because Latin house is for summer, you know, it's for the summer, you know, leave that techno shit for winter. And I get it, you know, but like, you know, once the sun starts creeping out and people can start wearing shorts in San Francisco, it's gonna be nothing but bump and grind everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm excited for that, you know, like that's gonna be so much fucking fun.
We're excited, bro. We got a lot of new music.
I'm hyped.
We have a very big show in April too.
Yeah.
I can't say it, but obviously.
Damn.
It's a big show in April, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, dude. Off mic, if you can say anything, let me know, because I'm there no matter what. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, dude, like I love what you guys are doing. I love what you guys have done also. You know, you guys always are community focused, and like family oriented for the most part, you know, like you said, like when you started this, you hit up Hitta and like and all these local, like somewhat local acts, you know, and then now they're killing it, you know.
Dude, it's insane.
Like 96, what he's been doing in the past, literally the past 8 months alone, is insane, you know. Being on Mixmag is fucking insane.
So
you know,
one person we really have to like, he doesn't get enough credit, is definitely our brother 96, man.
Yeah,
that guy is.
He was supposed to be on the podcast. He will be on the podcast soon. But he's obviously super busy. He also has we all have day jobs, you know. We all have to fucking, you know.
We ain't Tiesto yet. So.
Yeah, you know, like we're not just eating off this music shit yet. But it really does feel like hopefully by 2024, maybe some of us can quit our jobs.
Yeah.
You know, like just wait on it, and then once we can kind of take a step back from like our focus on paying rent, then focus on being creative. Whew, dude, it's over. You know,
over,
like, and we just need a couple people to situate themselves. In order for someone else to be like, oh shit, I can do it too.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
But yeah, like with you guys being like starting the label was a big inspiration for this podcast as well. Just being able to like, okay, well, I'm not musically talented enough, or my skills aren't there yet to showcase people that way. But I can talk, you know. So like I can do this and just do like bring people on and like have a good conversation, like make sure that like their stories are heard. Because like at the end of the day, like the point of this is just like when I die, like I want you to look back and be like, oh damn, dude, look at all the people that he talked to, you know, and like look at all each one has a different story. Each one has like a unique experience. And yeah, it's been tight. But like with you guys and what you guys are gonna start doing, like where do you think you would want this to, like, at the end of the day, like you kind of want this to manage itself, right? Where you guys aren't super hands-on, you know, just, you know, like let the machine work itself. But like how far away do you feel like that is, you know?
Regarding the label?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. Right now, you know, like I said, a team of 4 is probably not that big to start a company. But Sergio,
it's a team of 5.
Team of 5, yeah.
But I mean, we love to do the artworks and everything, the mastering. But I mean, yeah, you got a point. One day, I do feel like the label's gonna be very big overall.
It's gonna be bigger than what you.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic about it. I'm always optimistic about everything. And one day, you know, we're gonna start having interns,
right?
You know, like
for real,
all this
for sure.
I can
like,
see
dude,
it.
Like you're gonna eventually have to buy an office space.
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, that's how I think. That's me in my head.
Here's what helps is we both work in corporations.
Yeah.
So we have exposure to all of that. You know, office spaces, politics, you know, all that. So running a business like this, we sort of have like an upper hand because we know what it will take.
Yeah.
We don't know everything about it, but we have an idea of what it would take.
Well, you have a better idea.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, it's super cool. I mean, I don't want to like dive into what you guys do now, but you guys do work for big companies. I know someone works for a big university, someone works for a big tech company. So like with those backgrounds and everything, I don't doubt that you guys won't be able to use that to your advantage, you know? Like like with me, I'm working at a coffee shop and some bullshit, you know, but I have all these other avenues of experience to where like, oh, okay, like I know who, if I need help, I can ask the previous owner of X, Y, and Z and be like, hey, what would you do even if it's the paint company? I can be like, oh, okay, well, how did you like market yourself? Like to me, the marketing aspect of things is so important, you know.
Absolutely,
and yeah, like I talk to as many artists as possible and be like, all right, but like, what are you doing content wise? That's like a big conversation with me, is content, and like, oh, how are you putting yourself out there? Because if you're not putting yourself out there, then you're not there. You know? And like, and that's the I can see the wheels turning finally of people being like, oh shit. Even with like Foley last episode was the host, you know? And like, yeah, that was super fun. And also he yesterday was like, oh dude, I'm gonna pull up. Like I fucking love those guys. I'm gonna pull up and just like, you know, like the whole thing was like I was gonna go to the bathroom and then he was gonna walk in wearing my shirt. You know? And like,
that would have been hella fun.
Dude, that would have been fucking great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So like that would have been fun, but he's being a good boy and he's working out, you know, and he's doing that. He's getting that summer bod.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, like that would have been fun, and it would have been a good little cameo because it would have been like the boys, you know. But yeah, like it's tight. I'm excited to see what you guys have planned. And then like with you and your experience, like I'm a dreamer on paper. Like that is what I'm called. Like I'm on DACA. Like that's, you know. So like ever since that became a thing, that's how I've thought. I'm like, oh well, this is a lottery ticket. So how can I fucking expand this lottery ticket to the most that I can get? And I don't know if you have that same mentality of like, hey, this this can kind of go away at any given point, you know, that's how I feel as an immigrant, you know, just like, I'm not even supposed to be here. I need to fucking, you know, be on my P's and Q's, but also I'm trying to fucking fuck shit up, you know, like.
So the way I see things, obviously coming into this country too, my dad was already a citizen. So I was like marrying my mom. That was automatic for us. I was very thankful for that part, you know, very privileged on the side. But coming here to the States, humble myself too of I didn't have all the assets that we have in this country compared to what it was back in Peru when I was going to school. Here, you know, you have so much help. You know, you have so many resources you can use. And I guess me coming from a different country, you know, saw that, I guess, too, like, damn, I wish my homies over there in Peru had this amount of help that I'm getting here, you know? Whether it's, you know, through healthcare or, you know, through financial aid, whatever. You get so much help.
Even just the public school education.
The public school education.
Like, even just that alone.
Like, they provide you books here.
Yeah.
When you're in the public, over there, you have to buy them.
Yeah.
From understanding, my mom and my dad were buying me books over there.
Damn.
Crazy.
And that was literally in the kindergarten. Imagine that shit.
Yeah.
You know? So here, I was like, I found out you get free books and you can get free lunch too.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck?
Squared pizza.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, that pizza was kind of dude. Those Fridays, you know, pizza days, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
The PB&J,
Uncrustables.
Yeah. I
dude.
love those with chocolate milk.
Oh my fucking god.
Even the mailbox too was fire sometimes.
Yeah, dude. Uncrustables in a fucking carton box like chocolate milk.
Oh man.
Dude. That combo unmatched.
So I humble myself to never take anything for granted, honestly, you know?
Right.
Like, obviously I went to high school, went to college too, and I'm still in college too.
Yeah. Where'd you go to school?
East Bay.
Okay.
Yeah,
And where'd you go to school?
So after high school, I went to Heald College. You know what Heald College is?
Yeah.
I did it because I had no fucking clue what I wanted to do with my life.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I did Heald because they reached out to me.
Damn.
Like, yo, you want to join our program?
That's crazy.
I was like,
recruiting people.
I was
and
like,
shit.
I don't know what I want to do in my life. Sure. And
Yeah.
I fucking went for it, graduated.
Damn, good thing it wasn't the army. Fucking like, dude,
Right?
Like, dude, imagine.
Fucking. And then I did that. I was a medical assistant for like a year. I hated it. And then I ended up finding out about this program called Year Up.
Oh, okay, I have heard of it. I've heard of it, but I don't know
big in
exactly.
San Jose too.
Yeah.
It's called Year Up, like a year up. And this program is a nonprofit. It helps youth, or close that gap from having talent to this, all these jobs in the corporate world.
To become a professional.
Yeah.
Learn the basics of business. I went to that nonprofit school for like 18 months. And eventually landed a job at a corporation.
Right.
And that's
so you work in tech, right?
I work in tech, yeah.
And then like that's in itself, like here in the Bay Area, like it's the job to get,
It's the Silicon Valley. So,
yeah, exactly.
So his background is really what made my background now.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, like
that's true. Yeah.
Because of him, I'm where I am right now in life too as well.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that for him. He got into tech, and then he got me into tech. I was already studying that in college, but he was the main bridge for me to get what I wanted.
Right.
Obviously, this big tech company, I'm not sure if you can say the names or not, but he got me into there, started very basic.
Right.
Yeah.
Doing room inspections, checking the audio and video quality of things. And now I've finally got my one of my dream jobs that I always wanted, making really good money. And that's because of him.
Yeah. That's crazy. And that's fucking dope. That's dope to see that like the duo isn't just music based. It's it's like life. It's like I would assume like a brotherhood, you want to see him succeed.
Yeah.
With or without this music shit, and like that's fucking tight. A lot of the times like people just want to see you succeed in the field that they're in, because then you can benefit that, you can help them, as a later stage.
He became an engineer first,
right?
And I became an engineer after him.
Oh, okay.
So like I'm thankful for everything.
Right.
He did for me.
Well, also, I mean, with that said, it's just like I've said this before, where it's just like you need to see it first, like see that it's possible for you to be like, oh shit, okay, well, like what steps did you take, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, well that's not impossible. Like I can do that
all the time, and then I always looked up to him. Everything that he did, in the corporate world, the professional world, things, like
it's almost like I went through the trenches of learning everything in that school, soft skills, hard skills, IT, and then learning, getting a career there, and then helping my friends out. That's honestly what happened, because what I learned there is everything's word of mouth. It's all about who you know. It's all about like helping others. And dude, the moment I got into that career path, I saw opportunities to help my friends out.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
Like other people would be stingy and be like, oh, I want to keep this to myself.
Right.
Everyone was trying to eat, bro. Like I'm climbing up the ladder along with my homies.
Right.
And that's what I did.
Hell yeah, dude. No, and I fucking love that. And it shows not just with your relationships outside of the industry, but also like how you work in the industry.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't say your guys' names without people being like, I love those guys, you know, like, and whether or not that's them like trying to just stroke your dick just for like, you know, like for the hype. Yeah. But also it's just like, for the most part, those people, like the people who tell me, I'm like, I know that they know you. Yeah. You know, I know that they've hung out with you guys, had conversations where I'm like, oh, okay, well, these guys are all right. Yeah. Like, you know, and then like finally meeting you guys and like, even with like 96 and everyone was there, you know, and I was just like, oh fuck, these are the man of the people, you know, like these guys are here. They're, you know, mingling, they're doing the thing, you know. Cause like, yeah, growing up, to me, artists were like untouchable people. Yeah. You know, I don't know if you guys had that. It was maybe because I went to festivals.
No, that's true. We our first like interaction with some big artists, we felt the same way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just how we grew up, going to raves and shit.
Right.
But you know, we learned how to be professional. We learned that this is a career path. Everyone's just, they're humans, bro. You know, like just have more exposure. Some have more credibility, but at the end of the day, just be yourself. Everyone's human. And I just want to put something out there, like us having careers and stable jobs, like actually sort of helped us be in a position where, you know, some artists are just so hungry for money, bro.
Yeah.
And, you know, not to put them down, but I get it. You know, some, you know, wanna get out of their jobs and land a job in DJing and make good money. But us being in this other side where we're like, we have stable jobs, we're passionate about music and DJing, it put us in a position where we're like, we're not desperate for money. So when we're, you know, working with Posh, trying to get shows, like we weren't like, oh, I'm not gonna take that. It's not my threshold. You know, we were just like, we need exposure. We're trying to build an audience. We're trying to have an outreach. Let's do whatever we can, and that kind of puts us aside because we have stable jobs. Yeah, you know.
No, that's so important for people to hear, you know, like don't quit your fucking day jobs, you know, like do not quit your day jobs. It's so fucking important to make sure that like your home is stable first, you know, like make sure that is stable. Because then once you're trying to be an artist and you're trying to be creative, being creative is the most unstable thing in the world. You know, like you never know, even with us doing the podcast at a different location, we didn't know if the cameras were going to work, the microphones, like this and that, you know, luckily everything worked out, but like we don't know what the fuck is going to happen. We're just throwing shit, you know, at the wall, hoping that it sticks. And like, it worked, but like I still had work today, you know, like you know, like I still had to go in, clock in, fucking do my thing.
Adding on to what he said too, I mean, the reason why I'm working, you know, my ass off too every single day is really, I mean, obviously I don't have kids, you know, I don't have a wife, but I mean,
don't have kids also. don't have kids, dude.
I'm literally like, working towards, you know, providing for my future family one day.
Right.
That's really my thing, and I'm also having fun DJing and producing music with my best friend, you know, like, it's all coming down together. Is, you know, you have to learn how to manage that space for yourself first, and then after that, share your content and see what you can do from there. You know?
No, that's super, super heavy and super important. But yeah, that's fucking sick, dude. I love you guys. You guys have like a good like head on your shoulders, and you guys understand your guys' selves. Properly, and like are able to be like, I mean, I'm sure you guys get offers to do shows and blah blah blah, but you guys are still like, You know, it is, you know, like you guys have the ability to say no because it doesn't make sense for you.
Exactly.
You know, like
Correct.
you're not gonna DJ on a Wednesday, you know, because you have work on Thursday. You know, and if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. I mean, if the money's there, the money's there. You know, but like if it's not, then that's cool. But you set yourself up in order to be able to say no. You know, and not everyone has that opportunity. Some of us are still like, oh yeah, I'll play on Tuesday. I'll open up your taco shop.
I mean, we started like that, man.
Yeah. No, but it's like I mean, that's like the experience aspect, you know. But you guys are now at a point where you guys don't need to, you know, jump at every opportunity. You guys to a lot of people are the opportunity. Which is tight, you know, like that's fucking sick, you know. And I don't know if you guys, you know, pat yourselves on the back enough, but I'll fucking do it for you. You guys are fucking doing that shit.
I don't think we do enough, man. We're just always looking for the next.
We're so fucking busy, man.
Yeah, man.
Like honestly, like our work life, our actual fucking life itself, and then this DJ career is taking a toll. Like we're busy as fuck.
I feel it. Yeah. I mean, we've only been doing this podcast for what, 4 or 5 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And even then, just like trying to schedule everything with like work and his work, the DJ's work or the producer or whoever's in front of me, and like also like making sure that like we get out on time, you know, because we all have work and like all this other stuff. Like it's a lot of planning and making sure that everyone's okay, you know. But yeah, like for the most part, like we mentioned earlier, you guys are community oriented, family based, and fucking know yourselves to the root, which is fucking so important as an artist, as an individual, as just a person, you know, just like know yourself and what your needs and wants are in order to succeed. But with that said, do you guys want to, you know, let the people know where they can find you, like your future shows, maybe some unreleased stuff? You know,
well, sadly, because of the shows, we can't say it due to contract stuff. You know, we're definitely playing a lot, obviously in LA, and then, you know, some stuff in the Bay Area going on as well.
And got a couple of shows in new states.
Yeah.
We're
there you
starting
go.
to expand.
Hell yeah.
We're expanding big time on that.
My mom lives out in New Jersey, and have contacts out there in New York, where I'm trying to get like a group of guys or friends. It doesn't have to be guys, but like friends to like go out to New York, and like I think I have a venue. In Brooklyn.
Okay.
Sure.
So yeah, like that would be fun. I don't know if you guys are into that. You know, I don't know if you guys are into New York.
We played it in Brooklyn actually.
We played in Brooklyn.
Oh shit, dude!
It was last.
We played at the Shemansky. That's what it's called.
Shemansky, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was dope.
Yeah.
I think New York is a different vibe.
It's a
crazy
different
because there's
vibe.
a lot of Puerto Ricans out there.
Yeah.
You would expect
definitely.
like this Land Tech House will pop off.
Yeah.
But we got a
right
different vibe over there.
Well, okay, right now, I mean, I played in Brooklyn, right? So Brooklyn, a little gentrified now.
Yeah.
So it's like like everyone was into techno. And I'm coming in with my tech house shit, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill it, you know, like in the Bay, it's fucking kill it.
Yeah.
And then fucking I come in and people were like, this is like child shit, you know, and I'm like, I'm just like, oh, okay, these are my heavy hitters.
I think we need to tap into that bachata tech house, bro.
Yeah. Like, or if not, just fucking, I don't even know, but no, that would be fun. But did you guys want to give out your socials, anything else like that?
Hey, you know where to find us. It's always DEM2 Music for all our, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, even our YouTube channel too as well. But definitely want to shout out to some people that definitely helped us where we had to be. I mean, first and foremost, Space Yacht, man. Shout out to Henry. Shout out to Rami, man, London Bridge. And shout out to our boy Diego too as well, as always booking us for everything. And then our management team, Posh and Brand. They're always with us, man. We're constantly annoying them.
Yeah,
our group chat. And of course our label team, man.
Yeah.
What would we do without them? You know, we have Gibby, we have Joe, we have 96 Bar, who's also part of our label too. So it's just a big family, man.
Yeah.
And also to our crew, the Hideout, man. I don't know if we mentioned it before, but the Hideout in LA, man, it's amazing what they're doing right now. They're helping us too on their platform. Yeah. You know, we're all contributing. They're so big on Latino community as well, you know. So shout out to the boy Javi and Ruben running over there in LA as well. It's pretty awesome, man. This is like the big family that we're all for.
Right. No, that's fucking sick. I'm excited. once again, dude, once that summer hits, dude, oh,
Dude.
and I'm wearing my shorts,
Hell
it's
yeah.
over. Once I get to like button down some like 3 buttons, like unbutton, oh,
Show a little bit of
it's
hair right here.
over. You know, like just it's over.
I'll give you a sneak. So we have this track. It's called Tulum, and this is one of our first original vocal track.
Mhm.
We got into our fucking zone. We got into character. We got into some fucking, reggaeton style rap,
Right.
and it's called Tulum. Stay tuned because that song's got to pop off. It's a
Hell
summer
yeah.
I
track.
think it's on the verge of getting signed
Absolutely.
Oh shit.
at Ibiza.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a label from over there, so
Okay.
we're like kind of waiting for it.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
process, like I said, with labels.
Dude, okay, I mean,
But-
I'm not to like elongate this like podcast, but dude, no, I was watching. Oh fuck, what? I forgot what club it was in Ibiza,
Yeah.
but this DJ played one of your guys' tracks, and
Visa.
I forgot what I forgot. And also it might not even be Ibiza.
Oh, it was Boris John Vorn, I think.
I think so.
I think
Netted?
he played Jenga.
Jenga.
I think we
Yeah.
released a track in Mexico. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, but like I saw like I saw that and I was like, oh my god, like that's like Ibiza to me is almost like getting like if you're an artist, like
Yeah.
you're at MoMA.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like someone threw your song and people were fucking vibing to
Yeah.
it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, once again, congratulations on everything you guys have done, from everything from the releases to the label to the shows, to your work life. You know, like that's difficult. Where you guys are at, like that's difficult to maintain. And then just like being able to juggle all of that. You guys have really inspired me more to like make sure that we do everything right for this podcast and like make sure that we fucking keep doing it, you know, the consistency of everything.
Just discipline yourself with everything, man. That's really what we always look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, just to kind of wrap things up, you guys can find me at George.Daniel __ on Instagram. You can follow Meraki at Meraki.Bay Area on Instagram. We will have a show in March, since this is going to be released then. So stay tuned for that. I think we're gonna be doing it at Monarch Gardens, but stay tuned for that. Formerly known as District 6,
Nice.
where Gordo had a show.
Yeah, I remember that. Nice.
And yeah, we're gonna be doing some dope shit and probably bringing out different vendors and things like that. So just stay tuned for that. And then as far as that goes, fucking yeah. Thank you guys for coming through. This is fucking sick, dude.
Yes, sir.
Dude, you
Thanks for having
guys,
us.
you guys are fucking tight. You guys are, in my eyes, I see you guys as homies for sure.
Of course,
Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Always,
so
Thanks for
yeah,
having us.
no, yeah, it was a pleasure. But yeah, if you guys have any artists that you guys want to have them jump on the podcast at any given time, just shoot me a DM. We'll fucking
Okay.
get that going.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
So just stay tuned, everyone. We love you and peace.
Peace.
Yeah, no, that would be super tight. Your guys' last, the light, right?
That one was a low key track.
It-
We released it without promoting it.
I know, but it's such a dope track.
But it was like years ago, and like.
But okay. I'm glad you said that. Was fuck. I wish it was on podcast. But what I liked about it was it didn't sound like today.
yeah.
Like you guys today.
Yeah,
So I don't know
yeah.
if it was like you guys thinking about like what you guys are gonna release in the future or what you guys have already done.
No, it was the time when we were like so into like Dirty Bird, bouncy shit.
That's what it felt like.
That's what it was.
That
Yeah.
track has so much background to it, man. You have no idea.
Yeah.
That's why we released it low key.
Yeah.
Just catching dust on our SoundCloud.
We
Yeah.
entered a competition for Dirty Bird and
Right.
we landed in a podcast with Cloud on Stroke.
Okay.
He dropped it in his podcast. He was
Right.
with them too, but it didn't win.
Oh, that was during COVID, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it didn't
yeah.
win the competition, so we ended up with the track like, all right, what the fuck are we gonna do with this?
Yeah.
And we recently decided just to drop it low key. Because it's a good track, it's a good work of ours, but it's not Latin tech house what we're
Right.
trying to pursue. But if you look at our fucking history, we don't always just do Latin.
Right.
We have intergalactic. We
Pretty
like to
hybrid,
fuck
yeah.
around
Yeah,
with
yeah,
other
yeah.
shit. You know?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like that's what that's one thing where I'm like, just because we're brown doesn't mean we have to do Latin house. Like it's Latin house by default because we're Latin, but that's not what we're doing, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, that's like my whole argument is like you just because you're brown, it's not Latin house, but like just because you're a different ethnicity doesn't mean you have to do Latin house.
It's
You
just
know.
kind of like saying like, okay, I'm not just doing Latin. Like I can actually produce other shit.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's what the light is.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, I liked everything about it because even just with the name, with being like, oh, I'm gonna shine light on this aspect of what I do.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and like that
And
part.
that's me singing.
Yeah.
So he
Oh,
actually-
okay.
Yeah.
He did the vocals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's our vocals.
Yeah.
You'd be
nah.
surprised. A lot of our tracks are literally our own vocals.
Yeah.
Literally, bro.
Literally.
That's dope, dude. I'm fucking hyped for you guys. I'm excited to see what's next and everything.